It is Tuesday night around 8 p.m. You had every intention of going for that run or finally finishing the project you started on Sunday. But as you sit on the edge of your bed, the very idea of starting feels physically heavy. You tell yourself you are lazy or that you just need more grit. You might even look at others who seem to have endless discipline and wonder what is wrong with your character. But the truth is, your discipline didn't fail because you are weak. It failed because you treated it like a permanent part of who you are, rather than a limited resource you had already spent hours ago. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly why your willpower seems to vanish when you need it most. You will see how your daily environment is designed to drain your resolve, and why the most disciplined people actually rely on discipline much less than you think. Welcome to Mini Mind Hack. Today, we are looking at the mechanics of why we stop following through on our intentions. We will explore how your brain manages effort, why the modern world makes forcing it a losing strategy, and how to stop blaming your personality for a biological reality. To understand this, we need to look at what happens to your mind before you even get home from work. Most of us view discipline as a muscle that we can just flex whenever we want. We think that if we want something badly enough, we should be able to make ourselves do it. But psychologists have a different way of looking at this, often referred to as ego depletion or decision fatigue. Consider the work of Roy Baumeister, a social psychologist who has spent decades studying how humans exercise self-control. His research suggests that willpower acts less like a muscle and more like a battery. Every time you make a choice, you use a little bit of that battery. This doesn't just mean big choices like whether to quit your job. It means the small, invisible choices that fill your day. When you decide what to wear in the morning, when you resist the urge to check your phone during a meeting, or when you politely navigate a frustrating conversation with a colleague, you are tapping into that battery. By the time you reach that Tuesday evening on the couch, you haven't just been working, you have been making thousands of tiny acts of self-control. Your battery isn't empty because you lack character. It is empty because you have been using it all day just to function in a high-pressure environment. This leads to a shift in how your brain processes information. To understand this, we can look at the framework popularized by Daniel Kahneman, a Nobel Prize-winning psychologist. He describes two modes of thinking, System 1 and System 2. System 1 is fast, intuitive, and effortless. It is what allows you to drive a car on a familiar route without thinking. System 2 is slow, analytical, and requires intense focus. Discipline is almost entirely a System 2 activity. It requires you to override your natural, comfortable impulses to do something difficult. The problem is that System 2 is incredibly expensive in terms of mental energy. When you are tired, stressed, or hungry, your brain naturally tries to hand control back over to System 1. System 1 doesn't want to go for a run in the rain. It wants the immediate comfort of the couch. This isn't a failure of your soul. It is your brain's way of conserving energy for survival. The modern world amplifies this conflict. We live in an environment specifically designed to trigger our System 1 impulses. Every notification on your phone is a tiny battle for your attention. Every hyper-processed snack in your pantry is a temptation your brain has to actively ignore. In previous generations, discipline was often supported by the environment. There were fewer distractions and more clear routines. Today, we are asking our internal discipline battery to do 10 times the work it was evolved for. When we rely solely on discipline, we are trying to fight our environment with a limited resource. This is why most New Year's resolutions fail by the second week of January. The initial excitement provides a temporary boost to the battery, but once the novelty wears off and the reality of a busy work week sets in, the system collapses. The people we perceive as having immense discipline usually understand this intuitively. They don't spend their day forcing themselves to be productive. Instead, they focus on their environment. They remove the need for choice. If their gym clothes are already laid out and their phone is in another room, they don't have to use their discipline battery to get started. They have turned a System 2 struggle into a System 1 routine. So if you found yourself stuck on the couch tonight, realize that it wasn't a sign that you are incapable of change. It was a sign that your current strategy is asking more from your brain than it is biologically able to give. It is a sign that you are tired and that your environment is winning the battle for your energy. The goal isn't to become a person with more discipline. The goal is to become a person who needs less of it. By understanding that your willpower is a finite resource, you can stop wasting it on small struggles and start designing a life where the right choice is also the easiest one. If this perspective helped you see your own patterns a bit more clearly, please consider subscribing to Mini Mind Hack. It helps us continue to explore these mechanisms together. Feel free to share your thoughts on your own Tuesday night moments in the comments. Thank you for watching and take care. See you next time.